Mainstream media. Did you see any mainstream media? I did. But did they see me? Yes, they did. Is it not strange how they can ask questions but won't stick around to answer questions put to them? Well, I asked ITN News, both camera operator and journalist, but neither of them wanted to reply. Not even the bodyguard. Can you just tell me which mainstream media you're from?
Yes, ITN News.
ITN News, and the interview that you just had, would you just answer one of my questions? Why have you turned out today? Why have you come today? Are you going to put a spin on this, or are you going to tell the truth?
I'm not a journalist, I'm a camera operator.
Oh, great stuff. And you're a journalist, aren't you? Are you going to put a spin on this today, or are you going to tell the truth? Well, if you wish to walk away, you're walking away from the truth. 28 November 2020, I met up with Gaz and Jamie and we decided to try out radio communications while doing our own thing at the peaceful gathering in London. We got split up a few times, but the radio comms came in handy to not only find each other, but also to highlight where all the newsworthy stuff was. I believe London Met Police had one goal, and that was to turn as many people away from London as they possibly could. They did indeed manage to do that, but in doing so, they also managed to alienate themselves from the people. British policing does not appear to be creating for itself any public support. In fact, I hear many more people stating how much they now hate the police, and to put it in my own terms, allowing themselves to become the political pawns for Boris Johnson and his government.
What's actually happened, I've come down to London and we've come in for a peaceful protest, but they won't allow us because of all the erroneous and the unfound false science-based laws they created on COVID to be able to acquiesce us to go along with their program. Basically, we're living in an absolute dictatorship, even worse than communism and the time of Stalin and Hitler. And so what we're trying to do is going down to Marble Arch is make people aware, tell them what's going on in the world, really awaken them, tell them about the true facts, not what the BBC and the rest of these big corporate companies which are owned by these bureaucrats and corporates, to tell people and make them acquiesce to mind control and false information, disinformation and absolute just draconian dictatorship from these loony psychopaths that want to bring in a Green New Deal, basically based on food carbon print. So they tax us more, they completely make us more of these slaves, and they completely take over the world by taking over our assets. They're going to seize all assets very soon, and they're going to force vaccinations. Looks like it just was a voluntary thing, but Boris has been the traitor to this nation. We voted him in, and he seemed to be the good guy, but he's the Judas, and he sold out this nation, United Kingdom, to the New World Order. And he promised he'd never go along with it. Even he said he promised he'd never go to the Davos meetings. That's where they hold their meetings. And so this is where we're at the moment. So as we're going to make people aware and protest our rights and go to the courts and get arrested and get into trouble, and the police are being enforced by these lies. This is an incorrect doctrine. This is a doctrine based on fascism. This is a doctrine based on a New World Order idea. It's a satanic idea. These people are Satanists at the highest level, and they believe in the God of this world, which is Satan, the God of this world. I'm not talking about the God of the universe and that, but the God of this world. And so we're looking at a complete mania of absolute time, mind, ideas, doctrines, force, and destruction of freedom and liberties and rights in every country. That's why they try to overthrow Trump. They've lied about the fraud. They've been proven that there's so much shenanigans that are going on there, that they've lied. Biden should never be president because he's an absolute con artist. He works for these guys. He's actually one of their leaders. Okay, he's from the shadow government anyway. He's been in government because he's trying to lie to the government, the people of his nation, and people are acquiescing. So there's two sides that are taking place right now in the world. You either stand for God and the good of humanity, or you stand for evil and the destruction of humanity.
So these are the current people on the way to our destination, but we don't know where. And your sign says...
Mum, hold it up. Undisclosed destination.
Yeah, well, it's looking that way, ain't it? What do you have to say about this?
Where to start? Where to start now? I think, first and foremost, just ask questions.
people need to start asking questions. I mean, there are people that have lived on this planet for a very long time and not asking why they've never before in their history been asked to wear a mask for a viral pathogen. Why would you not ask questions about that?
And the flu is actually on the decline, isn't it? About 98% reduced, but yet COVID has gone up.
Strange.
I don't even know if we've got 3 months left or 6 months left before they force us to take the vaccines with the microchips. So they call it the ID 2020. So they surveil us, control us, and our buying and selling has done everything through this vaccination. If you don't have it, you'll be out of society. You'll have to live somehow and breathe somehow and make your way somehow, because or else they're just going to control everything that you are. And this is what's happened to us. So we were really in a deep state of affairs, and we're really in trouble.
Yeah, I noticed.
Ladies, Marble Arch. Okay, just sit separately. Marble Arch, sit separately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. There's lots of police presence, even at the bus stations. I've noticed when we're passing, there's lots.
Yeah,
of
they
people.
want to close down everything. They don't want us to acquiesce. They don't want us to do anything according to what we want to do. They're trying to take our rights and liberties and freedoms. They're trying to do whatever is possible, necessary to destroy us and to take away our laws in this country. It's a fraud. It's a fraud deal. This is an absolute fraud deal, and this has been done in the name of Satan, in the name of fascism, and the name of man. 666.
He was absolutely crawling with the police. He couldn't move.
So it's false information.
And what about any peaceful gatherings? Did you notice any?
No, because you were immediately felt the need to run away because it was so intimidating. There were just countless vans and more on the way, groups of police all standing together. There was nowhere to be comfortably.
So this was a big police operation, wasn't it?
It's amazing how many resources they've suddenly found, isn't it?
Did you witness any arrests at all?
No, I didn't. I just kept my head down and moved very quickly because I'm a bit conspicuous with things. Be brave. It's time to find courage now. Because if you think that you might lose a job or you might, temporarily lose friends or whatever it may be, believe me, what's around the corner is worse.
And what about yourself, sir? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I do, because we don't really know what the situation is about the virus. What disturbs me is the censorship.
We do. We actually do.
Well, there's lots of evidence either way, and I did medical MSc. But what I say is, whatever the situation, there should not be this mass censorship. Everyone should be entitled to have a view and an opinion. Post that onto the media, and then people can make their own minds up. But what's happening is that if anyone says anything that's outside the mainstream media narrative, it's immediately taken down. Now, because I did an MSc in medical electronics, I watched a conference, and it was on virology, and these are world leaders in virology, even experts in coronaviruses. The conference was fantastic. They were talking realistically about the virus, about what was happening, and then because I missed the first bit of the conference, I wanted to go back and watch all of it. Within 20 minutes, that conference was deleted from YouTube. And that's ridiculous. These were experts. These weren't tinfoil hat wearing, conspiracy nuts. These were experts discussing rationally about the virus. And that sort of sensible discussion is being completely eliminated. And that worries the hell out of me. Why should big corporations have the ability to censor and delete free speech as they choose? Now, I post things up on Facebook, on YouTube. I've got my own YouTube channel. And what happens if they say it's fact checked, but it's fact checked by their people, they just delete and shut down everything. Even if you post up anything about the virus, immediately it's flagged or deleted. Anything about the election, they flag that Joe Biden is the predicted winner. And it's an opinion, it's not fact. I'm very much for free speech. Even if people don't agree with me, they've got the absolute right to talk and let all the ideas go into the marketplace, and then you believe what you want from the evidence. But the current situation, the evidence is clear to see, and people are ignoring it or deleting it. And that's a real worry because, it's so difficult. I have friends from university, very, very educated people, and they refuse to even look at the evidence. They won't watch the videos. They immediately say this is conspiracy theory. When I talk about the Great Reset...
Conditioned into that.
No, but when I talk about the Great Reset, it's out there. It's not hidden. When I say that...
talking about it.
When I said that Bill Gates said he wanted to reduce the world population by 6 billion, I've seen the videos, I've seen him lecture. And, okay, a lot of them are being deleted deleted now, but you can still find the evidence if you look. The worrying thing is that people are not looking. They don't want to see, and in fact they're very resistant. You can make a really good video explaining the situation to people, as I have on my own channel, and people refuse to watch it. They want to stay because it's very hard for them to admit they were fooled or they've made a bad mistake. So the longer it goes on, the more committed they are to the narrative being true, and the harder it is for them to admit they were wrong.
Just this morning I watched a video by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with, her name is Catherine Austin Fitts, Fitts, If you will just go and find that, it's about the economy. Who benefits from the controlled demolition of an economy? It's a really very interesting video, and it's about following the money. So I recommend you.
I've heard that a lot, follow the money.
Well, this is destroying the middle class. This is destroying small businesses. This is destroying mom and pa shops. Deliberately. Look at who's benefiting. Like Amazon, you know, their profits have absolutely rocketed. And the big supermarkets, the big chains, the big global corporations are doing fantastically well. And the people that are suffering are the middle class people. So you end up with an exceptionally rich elite, and then everyone else is going to be brought down to be destitute and poor, and basically living in a very scaled down life.
This is taken over by 4 major groups. It's Prince Charles in this country, the IMF Bank, which is the World Bank Association. Okay, he creates money out of thin air. The United Nations that make the laws and policies and so, and the Economic Forum, Karl Schwab, who runs the whole deal since 1971. And he, Klaus Schwab, whatever, I don't care, I don't respect him. And this is where it comes down to. Basically, this is an ideology, a doctrine, a belief, an education, a mindset, an idea planted in the mind of people to do things contrary to everything that is kind and good and faithful and gracious and human and what humanity thrives on to become the true humanity it is.
If people are now looking at this and not seeing that the lockdowns will never end, then you really need to seriously question things. We're on our way to social credit. That is the plan. So see China, know that's where we're heading.
Do not acquiesce. Do not go along with this. Go to your constitutions, go to your governments, go to your leaders. Go fight with them, fight for democracy, fight for against the New World Order, and fight against the vaccines, and say no to the vaccines.
Right, we've currently arrived at the destination. I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here, but we'll see what happens.
It's nice and peaceful here. People are talking to each other. They're talking in the park. We're exercising their rights, freedom of assembly and freedom of speech, freedom of belief, freedom to protest. These are rights that should never have been taken away because the lockdown regulations are disproportionate considering that there is no current pandemic. Whatever pandemic there was ended on June the 12th, and since then there have been no statistical anomalies from the 5-year average in terms of people dying. There is no COVID pandemic anymore. The PCR tests which are being used to create a false narrative of cases are actually based on false positive tests. There's so much evidence for this, and there's so many scientific papers about this. The mainstream media and so on just simply aren't listening. But that's the facts, and that's the situation. So I know some lawyers are thinking about bringing cases to test whether these restrictions are actually disproportionate and therefore unlawful. So that's what's going on, and I think that's why people are here today out in central London enjoying a nice day in the park.
I've noticed a lot of police are around everywhere, flying up and down the streets. What's your take on this?
I've seen dozens of police vans here in Marble Arch, and I was briefly in King's Cross earlier. I didn't stay there, but some people, well, they didn't gather there because a few people were just being arrested as they came off the train. I don't know why the police are here, because no one's doing anything wrong here. All of this police manpower should be used to catch real criminals. Then we'd actually cut London's crime rate.
police have been busy arresting people. Here we come with another one. So it looks like the police are out to arrest as many people as they can. And I'm not sure whether you'll see this on the mainstream media because they don't tend to report on it so much. Unless it's an arrest. It's a bit biased in my opinion, but it is what it is. This is what people are up against. An unfair mainstream media. And that's from my observations.
We're not supposed to.
So they're just having a word with this family.
But we're trying to clear the area, that's what I'm saying. Don't you feel it's high?
So it looks like some officers are being interviewed. It's a nice change. Plenty of people here with cameras, and this is how it should be. Anybody with a camera needs to document these things. So just over here we've got Piers Corbyn and quite a rushed presence. And Piers Corbyn's being walked off, but the mainstream media are obviously busy doing something else.
It's not been researched long enough, although actually I've seen sources that suggest they were developing this many years ago.
Good afternoon! COVID legislation! Public health!
I don't take that for anything.
Anyone for tennis?
I don't know who on earth decided to send hundreds of police to harass innocent citizens. It doesn't make any sense to me, and in fact it's very, very wrong.
What will happen if you make mayor? Because you're running for mayor, aren't you?
I'm running for mayor, and the elections are on 6th of May, so it's coming up very quickly, just 5 months to go. So if I'm the mayor, I will refocus the police on what they're supposed to be doing, which is catching criminals, catching murderers, catching burglars and thieves and fraudsters and vandals, not harassing innocent people. So, you know, if I'm the mayor, I will implement a policy of non-enforcement of these anti-freedom rules and regulations. I've also started a new party called the Heritage Party, and so you can look at that online. We stand for just common sense policies and politics in every area. I think that's something that's gone. You know, you've now got the Tories, the Labour Party, a lot of the police, the mainstream media, all acting in lockstep together against the people to take away people's freedom, and it's tyrannical. And we've got to fight that, and we've got to take back political power. The Heritage Party is going to do that. If you support us, you join us, vote for us, stand for us, be a candidate, be an activist. Come and join us in the Heritage Party, because we want to take back our freedom and restore the liberties which are ours.
Can you just tell me which mainstream media you're from?
Yes, ITN News.
ITN News, and the interview that you just had, would you just answer one of my questions? Why have you turned out today? Why have you come today? Are you going to put a spin on this, or are you going to tell the truth?
I'm not a journalist, I'm a camera operator.
Oh, great stuff. And you're a journalist, aren't you? Are you going to put a spin on this today, or are you going to tell the truth? Well, if you wish to walk away, you're walking away from the truth. From my experience, I witnessed the mainstream media is here today. ITN, for instance. How do you think this story will go with them?
I think, well, they will probably portray this as like far-right conspiracy theorists are causing trouble, and the brave police were there to stop people from infecting each other with a deadly disease which is as bad as the Black Death, which we know it isn't. So they will just make up a load of lies and a load of propaganda about this to smear innocent citizens and peaceful citizens. So there's people here from all walks of life. You've got people who are students, you've got business people, you've got artists, you've got journalists. I'm a politician. You've got people who are just from every walk of life, lawyers and doctors and so on. All people whose life has been disrupted completely unnecessarily, and particularly business people whose businesses have been decimated because they've been unnecessarily closed. Government has taken away the right of people to trade with each other and to open their businesses. That's another thing which is incredibly destructive and absolutely wrong.
Tyrant fan of UK doing his...
Right there, don't we?
I'm in disguise.
He's in disguise.
They keep taking my camera.
Didn't recognise you. You didn't have a cap on. I had to look twice then, mate. Madam, you've been arrested one more time. You're going to get arrested for Section 5 public order offence.
Criminal! Criminal!
Let's just get in amongst the crowd and see what's happening. We've got Bronze Commander over there observing from the situation. We're going to try and be a little bit more discreet today. Get in amongst the people. We're going to try and go in disguise. So today, hopefully, I can pass through the system. So there goes Bronze Commander. Looks like they've currently got someone on the floor there. Another arrest.
They've clearly got to make a certain amount of numbers. They've clearly got to arrest a certain amount of numbers.
Closely followed by the CCTV camera.
Yeah, that was just over a walk, wasn't it? Everyone
How have you found it today?
Oh, fine. Yeah.
What about the police? Have you had any encounters?
Well, I've seen lots of them, but we haven't actually had any one-to-one contact yet. Hoping to keep it that way.
And the day's still early?
Yes.
So it looks like people are being advised to come over this area. And up there is a camera, and that will be what they're using probably to identify people's faces. They've obviously got a tactic going on. Yeah, there's quite a large police advancing. I'm right next to them now, so if you know where they are, come up the road. Can you see them? So it looks like they're going to try and get a kettle, I think. I'm only assuming, but that's what normally happens down this. There's a lot of people down there. Potentially going to create a kettle now for these people, I think. This is just overkill in my opinion, but it is what it is. They have to do it, I suppose. They've been told to. Yeah. But who's telling them? That's what I want to know.
We're fighting for our freedoms, we're fighting for our democratic right to assemble, to protest. We are a democratic country and we do not consent to tyranny.
Yeah, we are the people. We are the power. Take back the power. We are the 99%.
There's police everywhere. I can't say it enough. I've never seen this many police on the ground. Where do they get the resources from? Have they drafted them in? Right, so we've currently got the high definition camera looking in on the kettle.
It was, I'll be back on that.
When the chips are down, you rise up. Looks like they're ready for action. I'm going to get on the other side just in case they move off. Get over this area.
Okay, yeah,
hopefully
great.
Dave's here and he'll be the next mayor of London and hopefully sort all this back out for us.
Oh, I know, hopefully. Look, there's all these sirens going on behind us. I don't know why. The police are buzzing us going up Park Lane when there's just people here. These regulations are so wrong. I think everybody realises that. It's tyrannical. But people are being...
Oh, I can see you. Okay, where are we heading, guys?
Stick your poison vaccine! Stick your poison vaccine up your arse!
Our message today is the people have united in London to stand up for your rights and freedoms for democracy!
Yes!
Yes!
And what do you think of the police behind you?
Barbaric, cruel, acting unlawfully and treasonously. And we will take action against them with the legal organisations in Britain supporting the people.
Common law.
Yeah, the common law, our constitutional right and our human right. Our right to protest, assembly and association, and our right to believe. End of!
Yes!
So very shortly I think these are going to move down and disperse the people. Or maybe arrest a few. Currently still got people taking advantage of Speaker's Corner. But the police look like they want to shut it down.
Right, so we're here observing as a team of observers that everything there is we will be holding you personally liable. We will be holding you personally liable in the court of law. That means you in your private capacity, we've given you notice, not as a police officer.
Okay, thank you. You are not broadcasting your news. And if you film it, I'll kick the fuck out. Why are you fucking broadcasting when I'm gagging? Why you don't talk to me? I don't fuck it. Because you're gagged. You're gagged. And you're scared about what they're going to do to you. You're scared about what they're going to do to you.
What media channel are you? What media? You're a media channel.
Why are you wearing masks? How can we trust you?
I noticed a lot of new police recruits in London, and some of them were being shouted at and ragged around as they did not appear to have the necessary thinking ability to protect their own. All I can say to this is how shocking it was to see new recruits being ragged around to do a job that many people in this country believe the police on this day managed to do nothing but incite the peaceful people by trying to tell them what to do. When you look at how many police officers there was and how many people there was, the police basically wasted the time, resources and energy and did not even scratch the surface when it came to making their political policing point. Now that's my observation. What about yours?
We're not going to fall for your traps. We're not going to fall for your traps. We're not going to fall for your traps. We're just trying to be violent, aggressive. We're not doing that. We love you. We love your children. I want our kids. I want my child to be able to go to the playground. Do you want your child to be under house arrest? We've got to do this for the children. For the children.
Well, this is a bit of a panoramic for you, just to let you know what's going on. What can I say? it is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Please, take up your weapons.
Walking through the park is illegal.
Fucking dogs,
We live
mate.
in a fascist state.
Yes,
Boys, shitheads, leave people alone.
Hey, don't speak to him, my brother.
What did the police manage to achieve today? I don't think they managed to achieve anything but to put themselves in the spotlight for public scrutiny when support for British policing appears to be on a rapid decline to disaster. Do police officers have any free thinking within themselves? Or are they just following orders due to the fact they are no longer able to think for themselves? Police were still patrolling Hyde Park when I left around 5:30 p.m, looking for groups of 2 people or more. Sometimes I wonder what it's like for police officers to be sat on the bus all day long, but I did overhear a couple of police officers stating they didn't like waiting for something to happen before they was allowed out of their bus. No wonder some of them appear angry like wolves. They blame the people for them being cooped up on their buses all day, but never once appear to question why people have their reasons for standing up against tyranny. My question to British police officers is this: if the New World Order finally gets its claws into the new normal, then who is going to protect you when your services are no longer required by the UK government? The answer will be the same as it is now for the people of this country. Nobody.
So this is where the police got pushed back to. And there's a line of TSG over there. Now we've got inbound. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven to 8 vans. Another 8 vans arriving. Looks like they're sitting in the van for now because they're not needed at this moment in time. There's more TSG there that's got out of vans from behind. More TSG deployed out of this vehicle. So they're coming out of this vehicle now. There's another line of TSG behind this one. And I think pretty soon they're going to move in. Yep, there's quite an assembly behind there. I think they're going to advance and push people back, basically. But it looks like, in the distance, people are dispersing anyway. Oh, here we go. Some people will probably say, better get used to these bars. Hello there, you alright?
Hello mate, how are you?
Good. Bronze Commander, how's the day going?
It's alright. Another day in paradise.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers?
Absolutely nothing, but thank you for the offer.
Well, thank you very much for your time, professional. There we go, professionalism, that's great. Let's see how long it lasts. Well, I'm happy to see the walking straight past me, that's great. We got some more arriving. There's a lot of police officers here.
Police were still patrolling Hyde Park when I left around 5:30 p.m, looking for groups of 2 people or more. Sometimes I wonder what it's like for police officers to be sat on the bus all day long. But I did overhear a couple of police officers stating they didn't like waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen before they was allowed out of their bus. No wonder some of them appear angry like wolves. They blame the people for them being cooped up on their buses all day, but never once appear to question why people have their reasons for standing up against tyranny. My question to British police officers is this: if the New World Order finally gets its claws into the new normal, then who is going to protect you when your services are no longer required by the UK government? The answer will be the same as it is now for the people of this country. Nobody.
Right, you should be at home.
You don't do it in Brixton, you don't do it.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for your kind donations. It is through you I can get to the places where it matters. Please check out the links below, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe for more media content about the people, from the people, for the people. Take care, and bye for now.